Geoff, which of the Jaguars' moves is the best one? Which is the best move the Jaguars made yesterday? And you got to think Trevor Lawrence is a happier man today than he was yesterday.
So, I mean, I guess he is. I don't know. I mean, is it really like, did they really upgrade that much after spending all this money? I mean, Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. Are we just like bringing in like different types of like, broken toys? I don't know. But the best signing, I think, was Evan Engram. Evan Engram is a player I have been high on since the Giants signed him. The Giants he's partly been his own problem because he hasn't been able to stay on the field. But last year, I mean, or really actually over the last 2 years under Joe Judge, I mean, like they just did not use him properly. This is a player who's got very good downfield speed, and his height and size can let him like win jump balls over smaller cornerbacks. The Giants barely used him in that regard. You look at what Trevor Lawrence did. He targeted the tight end a lot last year. I think bringing in Evan Engram on a 1-year contract, that's the big thing. It's a 1-year contract. They didn't give him like half the city like they did to Christian Kirk. So I think Evan Engram is the best signing out of all those moves that they made. I'll let the other guys handle Christian Kirk because, I mean, I don't even really know what to say about it. But I think Evan Engram was the best signing the Jaguars made. I think he could be a legitimate fantasy, guy you should be targeting. As it's kind of like a sneaky sleeper next year for tight ends.
Steve, how much of an improvement in year 2 do you expect from Trevor Lawrence?
Well, I mean, when he actually has some players around him, like, again, the bar is down at my shoes. You don't have to pick it up much to say things are better. But let me just say this, okay? I 100% agree with Geoff. So I'll go on the opposite side. The worst deal that they did was Christian Kirk. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? To make him have the 6th highest contract amongst all receivers in the NFL. Think about that. The 6th highest contract amongst all the receivers in the NFL. This is somebody who hasn't even eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards in his career. Could he get that in Jacksonville? Maybe, but that's when you pay him after the production has been, shown that he can be that type of guy. And then you have Kirk and Zay Jones on the same team. Like, those two are clashing each other. They're basically the same guy. They're both downfield threats. Like, they're not going to mesh well together. So confusing moves should be, par for the course in Jacksonville. I was a fan for 1 week. I needed them to get the Colts out of the playoffs. They did that. I took my fandom and now I'm out because I didn't like half the moves they made. Evan Engram, great move. 1 year, prove it deal. That works. Everything else, what's going on here?
I know. Pearce, I believe we have you on record here. Like the past couple weeks in the show, I think at one point you said you were going to take the Jags to win the AFC South, and I think the Super Bowl may have even been in that conversation as well. You got to be feeling great after yesterday, man.
What the hell, Pearce?
Yeah, I definitely feel a lot better. Now, none of the moves are great. These were all good moves. Now, the thing with Christian Kirk, you have to overpay him. Like, you have to overpay if you're Jacksonville. No one's coming to Jacksonville unless they get a good contract. But what Jacksonville is signaling by overpaying is convincing not just their fans, which they needed to do to tell their fans, hey, we're committed to winning. It tells other role player free agents that, hey, maybe this is the spot for you. Come on in. We're building something here. But probably the best move was to get the guard that they signed, because now that gives them even more flexibility with the draft. They may not need to go after Evan Neal. They can probably go after Aiden Hutchinson, or they can trade down and then continue to upgrade in a bunch of different spots. And if one of those receivers doesn't work out, that's fine. They've got plenty of weapons, plenty of options. I think that they have a whole deck of cards that they're working with here, and they're in a really good spot this early in the season.
Do they have plenty of weapons though? Like I keep hearing this how great this Jacksonville wide receiver core is.
It's like Steve.
I don't see it. I mean, it's the same as last year. It's the exact same group as last year. It's just different names.
No, and they're all richer. They're all making more money, but like Steve said,
okay, good.
Down in his shoe. Down in his shoe. That is where expectations are. You've won 4 games total the past 2 years.
They're practicing Porsche 911s instead of Chevy Impalas. Let's give them that.